On today's episode of Alive and Thriving, I am going to talk about 3 things that may be standing in the way of you believing in yourself and your capabilities and getting out of your own way so that you can be doing the things in your life, personally and professionally, that you want to be doing. This is Alive and Thriving, where we tackle all things that stand in the way of holistic well-being and self-care in life and as women in business. Join me for real and raw conversations and inspiring guests who are expert in their fields as we come back to life together, overcoming stress, anxiety, nourishing our mind, body, and emotions. I am your host, Jessica Reed, alternative therapist, life and wellbeing coach. And if you are ready to grow, heal, and thrive together, then you are in the right place. Welcome back to my corner of the podcasting universe, or if you are brand new here, then welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to talk to you guys today about self-belief, as I mentioned at the very beginning. But before I do that, I just want to mention that I hold a monthly tapping circle, an EFT tapping circle. And if you don't know what EFT is, then you need to jump straight over to my website and find out what you are missing out on. But this tapping circle invites all levels of EFT, from complete beginners to advanced practitioners, to come together in a safe and inclusive space where we transform your life with EFT. We say goodbye to stress and hello to success. Sorry, I didn't know whether I should say that or not. It just kind of came out. I hadn't practiced it. Sounds a little cheesier than what I was thinking in my head when I say it out loud. But these are an online event that are designed specifically for self-led and self-care focused women who want to improve their stress management, release limiting beliefs, and reach new heights in their personal and professional lives. And this month's topic is overcoming fear of success and fear of failure. So if you're interested in coming along, it's $19. Our next one is Wednesday, the 8th of February. And if you miss that one, they do happen monthly. So just head to my website and check out when the next tapping circle is coming up. It's inspiredlifecollective.com.au/tapping-circle. I'll link it in the show notes. But today I really want to start the episode by saying that I believe in you. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, you don't know me. You've never met me. But here's the thing. I do believe in you. And let me tell you why I believe in you. I believe in every single lady who has come to me to release anxiety, to heal their trauma, to identify limiting beliefs and blockages that are stopping them from living their best life. Every woman that I have had a conversation with in Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, every email back and forth. Why do I believe in you? And that is because if you have ever had a thought about what you might like to be doing, a thought about what is possible for you beyond what you are currently doing or how you are currently living or how you are currently feeling. If you have had those thoughts, even if they come in and then your inner mean girl says, no, sorry, and pushes them away. But if you've had those thoughts to begin with, then I believe in your capabilities of getting those things done, of making them happen. And the reason for that is because your mind will not show you what you are not ready to face, even if you don't quite believe that you're ready yet. That's just the stories. That's just the logical mind that's trying to protect you. But your subconscious mind will not let you explore what you are not ready to explore. So if you are having thoughts of what is possible for you, then I completely believe in your capabilities of making that happen. So now the big question is, do you believe in those capabilities? And if not, that's okay. Please do not guilt yourself. Do not shame yourself. Be accepting of where you are right now. In fact, you may even like to tap, do some EFT on the side of your hand. And again, if you don't know where that is or what I'm talking about, you need to head over to my Instagram. But tapping on the side of the hand, you could literally start with a sentence that said, even though I don't believe in myself right now, I accept that I feel this way. And just start to implement that self-acceptance. Accept where you are. Accept that you've gotten here for a reason. And that reason is likely going to be one of the three that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But that reason is going to be beliefs, and it's going to be things that you have adapted, behaviors that you've adapted, thought patterns that you've adapted purely to keep yourself safe. And again, when I talk about safety, I'm not talking about your physical safety. I'm not talking about a physical threat around you necessarily. I am talking about the brain continually being on alert for what it deems is not safe, because we are 100% wired for survival. And if your mind fears change, which majority of us do to some degree, because change means stepping out of your comfort zone. Stepping out of your comfort zone means stepping away from the neural pathways that your brain has created because it is lazy, so that it can just process things quite quickly. It doesn't need to reinvent the way that you're thinking, the way that you're coping. So change for the brain means work. It also may feel uncertain. It may feel uncomfortable. And because of that, those feelings may then stimulate your stress response, because your amygdala is always scanning your external and internal environment for safety. Internal not only meaning the illness, injuries, but also emotions, thoughts. And then your brain will deem that moving out of your comfort zone is not safe, if that is what it's receiving from you. So again, be kind to yourself and just use that simple tapping on the side of your hand. Even though I don't believe in myself right now, I accept that I feel this way. And then be open, if you are ready to. I can never tell anybody what to do. But then I would suggest being open to looking at what it is that has led you here. And if you are ready to look at that, if you are ready to potentially bring some healing to that, bring some love to that, and begin some reprogramming on those things. So let's dive into the first reason that I want to talk about today. Remembering these are three that are possibilities. They're not necessarily your story, but let's just explore what may resonate. And the first thing, of course, is beliefs. Now, the reason that you are not believing in yourself is going to likely have something to do with the beliefs that you have formed, as I mentioned earlier, that you formed as a child, that you formed as a growing adult, that you formed from experiences that have had emotional consequences, beliefs that you have formed to keep you safe. But these beliefs, in turn, may not be serving you. And these beliefs may also be, I guess, not yours. if you have a belief around your ability to succeed, and it is firmly rooted in the fact that when you were a child, you failed at something and you were humiliated, or your parents, you were never achieving enough in their eyes, or, whatever your story is. If your beliefs are coming from those things, then that is going to directly impact your belief now in yourself. Even though logically you might be saying, no, I know that I'm capable. Of course you know you're capable. Or I want this. I really want this. I don't know why I self-sabotage. These limiting beliefs are subconscious. Okay, that automatic part of your brain that dominates 95% of your daily functions. The thinking mind likes to think it's in control, and it's not. So I would ask you to take a good open look at yourself and be willing and open to receiving, what may be holding you back. What beliefs do you have around success? What beliefs do you have around your ability to succeed, your capabilities? What beliefs do you have that are no longer serving you, that maybe aren't yours? And then I really want you to challenge yourself once you're aware of these things and ask yourself, do I believe that this has to remain my story? And that's the kicker. That's the big one, right? Because the beliefs that we have adapted that, again, run 95% of our day, subconsciously and unconsciously. If you think about the brain, 5% of it is the thinking mind, and the rest of it, we don't have to think about our heart rate. We don't have to think about our breathing. We don't have to think about digestion or our blood pumping. It all happens by itself. It happens unconsciously. Thought processes, scanning for danger, all these beliefs, 60-odd thousand thoughts a day that some of us could have. 12 to 60,000 thoughts a day. They're not all conscious. They're not all right up there in your awareness. So when you bring a belief into your awareness, it might be, I have a belief that I'm not good enough. When you have a belief brought into your awareness, you need to know that you then have a choice. You have a choice. A choice for this to remain your story, or a choice for you to take steps to reprogram that. And if you want to talk about reprogramming, then please reach out to me. We can use EFT, we can use hypnotherapy. There's plenty of tools. It's possible. But it's not going to be possible until you believe that it's possible. Or you even start toying with the idea. Just as I said at the beginning, if you've had a thought about what is possible for you, then you are already creating that pathway of possibility. The second thing that I want to talk about is fear, and specifically fear of failure. So that lack of self-belief, that lack of doing, taking action, putting ourselves out there, making the choice to do the things that we really, really want to do, can come attached to this pure fear of failing for some people. And let's break that down. Failure comes with shame. It comes back to, do I belong? If I fail, what does that say about me? Will people still like me? Will people be talking about me? If I fail, will I lose things that I care about? Will I lose people that I care about? Shame, humiliation, embarrassment. Maybe fear of failure because it'll be reaffirming a belief that you haven't addressed yet, that is that you're not capable, or that you're not good enough, or that you can't do something, or it's not possible for you. I don't know your beliefs, so I'm only throwing them out there. So that fear of failure could very well be because then you will be reinstating, losing my words today. Reinforcing is what I meant to say. You'll be reinforcing that belief that you haven't dealt with. And we will do anything to avoid these negative emotions, so we think. When it's really actually likely we're quite addicted to them in some way, shape or form. But it comes back down again to survival. The amygdala, the brain, is wired for survival. It is here to keep you safe. And if I fail and I no longer belong, then I'm not safe. Because if you think about it in terms of the times where human beings needed to rely on packs, if you were shunned from the pack, you would die. If you were different, if you were outcast, you would die. If you did not belong, then you were on your own, and that saber-toothed tiger would likely get you and you would die. God, that sounds awful. But it really does come back to those core fears. Do I belong? Am I loved? Am I enough? And again, that is purely for survival. So if you have if you have identified one of your fears, one of the reasons why you don't believe in yourself to be a fear of failure or a certainty, that impending failure, you're not scared of failing. You're scared of what your brain is telling you will happen if you fail. You're scared that if you fail your business and you have to go back to a job you can't stand. Well, do you have to go back to that job, or are there other options? Is this just what your brain is telling you? You're scared that if you fail at a job application, that everybody will know and think less of you. You're scared that if you fail as a parent, what long-term impacts, you could completely ruin your children. You see the thoughts? If I fail, what happens? And it is the what happens in your mind that is keeping you back. But here's the thing. What's happening in your mind is in your mind. Even if it has happened before, even if you have had a perceived failure before. And I can talk about this actually more. I might do an episode on this about a business of mine where on the outside it seemed really successful. On the inside, I lost money. I was only 2 years in. The shame, the humiliation, the failure that came with that for me. Here's the thing though. In my mind, my story was that everybody was watching. Everybody saw what happened. Everybody would know why I stopped running that business. Did they? No. They saw the success on the outside. They didn't see the things that I deemed as a failure on the inside. And I guess I'm also grateful that I am really quite more realistic now, because a few years into business, it's not that likely, ladies, if you're running a business, that you're going to make money in your first year or two. So again, it's not a failure. Not a failure. And I think one of the things that I would just love to quickly say about failure, because it is a word that I hear a lot in the coaching spaces that I am in, from people around me. I launched this product and it failed. I tried this thing and it failed. There is no failure. And some may say there's no failure, there's only lessons. I'm going to say there's no failure, there's only outcomes. There is only outcomes. And do you know what the beauty about reframing it to an outcome is? If you reframe your failure to an outcome, you get to have some control over the outcome. If this is not your desired outcome, then it becomes something that you can actually look at more strategically. Well, how can I improve that outcome? How can I adjust that outcome? What changes can I make? So just become familiar with what your fears are. And if it's a fear of failure, what is it? What is the story? And then I would recommend using EFT to desensitize that story and teach yourself safety around that story. And choose a really fantastic set of affirmations that resonate with you. And by the way, Thrive members, if you are listening, you have some in your portal today. Embodying success. There's 20 in there for you to choose from. But choose a set of affirmations that really mean something to you, that resonate with you, and start telling your mind what you want it to believe. And the goodness me, I had a facial at lunchtime. Now I think I just want to go to sleep. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is also fear, but it's fear of success. And this is one that some people kind of go, why would I be scared? Why would I have a fear of success? Well, here's the thing. For some of us, the fear of success is equally as important as the fear of failure. Now, with success, I want you to ask yourself, if I succeeded, what would this mean? What would this mean? What would this change in my life? Now, if you come from, say, a family who had struggled with money and you are suddenly successful, will their comments be different? Will they see you differently? Will you belong? How will your identity shift from someone who perhaps is a small business owner or who has a side hustle or who is middle management? Or how will your identity shift when you are stepping into full-time business owner, CEO, mum? How will your identity shift? And that's a big one. Do not discount that. We attach ourselves and wrap ourselves in our identity. And for a lot of the identity, it's not actually about who we fundamentally are as a person and what we value and who we, our core beliefs. It's actually about what we do for so many people, what we do on the outside. My identity may have been, wrapped around a particular profession or a particular way of being. I've always been, I've always been the poor girl and now I'm earning more money than I can imagine. Just an example. Fear of success. Fear of success could be responsibility. Am I ready for the responsibilities? I identified for me last year a block. And I'm happy to share these personal things if it helps. So for me, fear of success meant that I would need to work more hours than what I was at the time, which at the time that I was going through this was only 2 days a week because I have a young child. And that fear of success meant putting her in daycare more hours. And that was actually holding me back. Because for me to see more clients, do more in my membership, be more present on social media, record more podcasts, do all the things that I want to do in my business, I have to be able to put time into that. And putting time into that, as I said, meant committing Amelia to another day of daycare. That was a massive block. Massive, massive block. Was I ready to give up that time? And for a while I wasn't. So I didn't. And that's okay too. But identifying how you feel about success and what impact that is going to have on your loved ones, on how people see you, on your identity, is always just asking yourself the question, what if I succeed? And notice the objections. And those objections don't have to be solid reasons. Again, it's just safety. It was all about safety. Because those objections are keeping you where you perceive you are safe. So now I encourage you to go off and get your journal. You have some homework today. Go and get your journal and journal out. What do I believe about my abilities? What comes to mind when I journal, when I say I believe in myself? What events pop up? What stories? When I think about failing, what am I telling myself? And when I think about succeeding, what am I telling myself? And then I really encourage you to sit in your favorite space for 10 minutes. Get your favorite meditation ready. And if you don't like any meditations or you don't know where to grab some from, then come and join me in Thrive, because you get access to all of my libraries of EFTs and meditations, affirmations, journaling prompts. I'll link that in the show notes as well. But get a meditation ready, sit down and set your intention before your meditation to ask yourself, what would be possible for you if you give yourself permission to believe in yourself? And then meditate and see what comes up for you from that. And then, because I believe in you, and I would love for you to as well, because that's when the magic is going to happen. I could believe in you. Your mum could believe in you. Your partner could believe in you. Your children could believe in you. Your dog could believe in you. But until you do, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change. So what would be possible for you when you start believing in yourself? I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me on Instagram. I am at jessica.reed.ilc. Come and tell me, did this spark something for you? Did it trigger something for you? Did you identify something that you didn't realize was holding you back? And what would be possible for you if you just were able to give yourself permission to believe in yourself?
You have been listening to Alive and Thriving by Inspired Life Collective. Did you know that you can help us to impact even more women on their well-being journey simply by subscribing to this podcast and leaving a review? If stress or anxiety, life or business has got you feeling inside like you are just busting to come back to life, then I invite you to book a discovery call with me so we can chat about how Inspired Life Collective private and online services might be able to support you through your journey. I am so grateful to you for being here and having me in your ears. So until the next episode, just remember that you were born to thrive.